God bless everyone. Judy here. I want to give you an awesome, hilarious testimony, and I also want to give you an opportunity to give to God. There, so I'm going to start with the awesome testimony, and I'm just not going to show. I show my face all the time. I'm just this over a week and a half has been filled with two unexpected deaths. If you follow what God's doing here. And so even though I'm so much better, but my eyes are still swollen. My nose is puffy. Everything is just a little bit. And I'm just sort of not ready to, I think I've shown my face a couple times, but I'm just not quite ready to just be like, yippee, but I'm doing great in the spirit. Oh my gosh. Today's my first day where I'm actually laughing, hopping, skipping, jumping again. And I just want to tell you some testimony of how wonderful God is. Um, so as you know, Marty McFly, my precious dog of 10 years, who has been on the road with us to everywhere except the international flights, but he's been everywhere. He went to Washington, D.C., and my friend Gina remembered how he had diarrhea in Washington, D.C. when we warned from the Capitol. But Sunday he was running at the golf course, happy as a lark, and by Monday night he was with the Lord. He had a sudden and acute failure and in his kidneys, we believe, but his back just was like it was broken. It was horrific, basically. And God struck him. Really, it was time, and it was crazy because Sunday day was great, but Sunday night I noticed he was showing signs of pain, severe pain. And I was like, what? And I was comforting him, and all night I didn't sleep because he kept moving around on the bed. And I heard in my spirit, euthanize twice. And I'm like, what? Like, so that's why I was troubled, because I stayed up and I'm like, what do you like? And it was the Lord, but he'd also been preparing me for this. Because when we went overseas on our trip this year, the international trip, for 10 days, it was like, normally the pain of missing Marty is like, I'm just like, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home. And this time he took that out of me, and I'm like, what's going on? And my son was kind of shocked. He's like, Mom, all you do is look at pictures. And last year when we did this flight, and he goes, what's going on? And I'm like, I just know that I have God's work to do. And so what happened was I made a video. Marty went to be with the Lord. But so then the Lord told me, and I just want to encourage everyone, that God is just so fun. He's so out of the box. When you really let him in and talk to him and just really hang out with him, he will really reveal himself to you. And he is funny. The Godhead is so funny. God the Father, God the Son, Jesus Christ, and God the Holy Spirit. They all feed off each other. They're in it together. They're hysterical. So anyway, when I was 16, if you know my testimony, I tried to kill myself. And it was unsuccessful, and I was going to do it again. And I said, okay, God, if you're real, reveal yourself to me. So I had this little Gideon's Orange Bible that was given to me, passed out at the middle school I went to. And I'm like, if there's such thing as and then you just need to reveal yourself. And if you don't, then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of myself. And I will not fail this time. And so God met me powerfully, and I was saved radically by the Lord. I don't know how else to tell you. He touched my heart in all the pain, anger, abuse, sorrow. Like all of a sudden I had love and forgiveness. And up to 16 years old, I had never been told by my mom, I love you. And our dad died early, like before I was a year old. And it was just very emotionally and physically abusive. And my mom was just doing what was done to her, because we're Native American, and she's was on the reservation, born and raised, and her mom died of tuberculosis. And so then she was thrown around home to home, abused. So she just did what was done to her, to us. And, long history of abuse. And there was good moments, but it was so much abuse wrapped up in abuse. But anyway, that was my childhood. So God saved me. He literally just saved my soul, my heart, my mind. It's a huge testimony from like darkness into light. Beautiful testimony. It's why I do what I do to this day. 55. saved at 16, and the same old, my brother tells people she is the same crazy like she was at 16. The same Jesus freak, because he's real. But anyway, so I'm sharing that background to tell you that because I come from a very broken family, God told me, I'll never forget it. He said, I'll be everything you need. I'll be your mom. I'll be your dad. I'll be your uncle. I'll be your aunt. I'll be your grandpa. I'll be your grandma. He just went down the list. And I was just like, wow, thank you. I'll be your best friend. And he told me that. And I just was like, I just loved that. And so I've always like, I call God dad. I call him mom. I call him best friend. I call him, you're crazy. I call him all kinds of things. I call him boo, call him everything. Anyway, so when he took Mr. Marty McFly home, because there is no death when you're in Christ ever, you just transition to the next realm. There's no death. There is the destruction of your current body, but you don't need it because you get a new one. Anyway, same with the animals. So they don't have the same kind of soul we have, but they do have an animal soul, and they're all there too. God loves our animals more than we do, if you can imagine that. Like, just imagine that. Anyway, so when Marty McFly went to heaven so quickly, just here, because I thought I had until Friday at 4, because I scheduled the euthanasia, but he couldn't last. He came and put his little head on my chest like he always does, and it was his way of saying that we need to go now. We need to go. So I did a whole story on how it went down, if you can watch another video about it. But anyway, so Marty's gone. I went on my first hike yesterday, and God said to me, I'll be your dog. Like when he said, I'll be your mom, I'll be your dad, I'll be your uncle, I'll be your aunt. I can be a dog. And I'm like, but you're a cat. You're the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And he's like, well, I can be your dog. And I'm like, but it's not the same. You can't lick my ears. Even though I hated when Marty did that, it was something that Marty loved to do. So I would let him do it. And it was like so disgusting because his breath is so gross. And I would just cringe, but I would be like, ah, ha, ha. Like I loved it because it made him happy. So anyway, I'm like, you can't lick my ears. You can't like look at me with those eyes. You can't I can't, it's not the same. Like basically when the Lord told me that, I was like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, I don't see how you can do that. I know that's weird, but that's how me and God talk. And he's like, I can be a dog. I can be Marty. I can fill you. And I can fill that spot that he filled. Because it was a very important spot. That's why God left him here for 10 years. Because Marty off and on struggled with different health issues, but God made sure God made sure when it was time to go, it was time to go. So Marty was an official service dog. He was all licensed and everything, and trained, and he really did help me. So I went on my first hike without Marty yesterday, and I thought I was going to cry the whole time like I did the day before when I had to bring I didn't have to, but I brought all of his stuff to the shelter. Most of his stuff. I got to keep a few things. And I'll show you the few things that God let me keep. I made a video of it. Here, let me pull it up. Here's the few things that he let me keep of Mr. Beautiful McFly. He is not here. He's not in any of these things, but he had this famous mini skirt that Tana made. And he loved his mini skirt. He loved his mini skirt. It never got pee on it. It was the best thing ever. We called it his mini skirt. I know. It's funny. But I'm going to show you what God let me keep. All right, ready, go. So here's what God let me keep for Marty remembrance, even though he's alive and happy and free. Here's the mini skirt that Tana made him. So I wrapped everything in that. I'm keeping his service tag because that's special and it smells like him, so I'm not washing it. And then I have this hanging in the van. I love Marty. I put it in a bag so it wouldn't, but I have that hanging in the van. And then there's his little jar of hair. And here is his paw print in this beautiful leather thingy, and there's his picture with his lammies. That was last Christmas. Who would have known that was going to be my last Christmas? And there's his paw print. Isn't that adorable? That's my Mr. McFly. I'll see you soon, little guy. Anyway. He loved those lammies, those sheep. He loved those squeaky things. We had Christmas ones. We had like pink ones. Oh, he just loved them. He was a toy dog. Not all dogs are toy dogs, but Marty, if you walked in with a stuffed animal, you'd have to hide it because he thought you got it for him. So when we would go, to people's, if we visit someone and they had to like hide their stuffed animals because Marty would think you did that for him. If I brought him into like PetSmart, he would like go down the toy aisle and it was hysterical. But anyway, God told me he would be that. And I kind of was like, yeah, I don't really think you can do that. Like, it was just bizarre. Like, I'm just like, okay, thank you. That's so sweet. And I do appreciate that God said that. But I'm just like, I mean, you're not going to be able to lick my ears. And I just kind of wrote it off, but I'm like, okay, but thank you so much. And I love you, Jesus, So today I went on another hike and because I exercise every day. So, and I went on another hike and the Lord literally, like, this is my first day that I've had that I'm actually full of joy. I mean, happiness. I'm actually happy again. I'm like, before all the deaths occurred, back to where I normally am. And I just felt like a happiness. Like just everything's good. And then I did have a profound experience that I already said that Marty like telepathically told me, like he said, take care of yourself. Like, don't stress eat over me. I'm happy. There's stuff for you to do. So take care. And I'll see you soon. Like, it was really precious. So I was like, okay. So I chose not to stress eat. So that was really cool. Because that's something I've overcome a lot, but it creeps up every now and then. Anyway, so today when I'm on my hike, the Lord literally shows me himself with, it's it's so funny. I had like, I don't want to say it was a vision. It was like a picture when him and I were walking and I was talking with him on my hike. And it was like so clear. And it was Marty's head on Jesus' body. I was like, what? He goes, I told you I could be a dog. I told you I would be Marty. But here's the crazy thing. When I was hiking, I felt like Marty was right next to me the entire time, but I didn't have to have him wrapped around my waist with a leash. Like, he was there, but then I could feel him there, which was so supernatural, but it was Jesus. And Jesus then showed me it was him, and it was Marty's head on Jesus' body. and and like those horse heads that are so funny on YouTube. I've done that when I would do, anyway, I've worn those masks and done funny videos on YouTube if you go scroll way back. But anyway, and I saw Jesus turn and look at me, and Marty, it was Marty's head on him with Marty's eyes going like, I love you, I'm with you. And I was like, what? And so I was like hysterically laughing, and I'm on this hike and I am by myself. There was no one passing me by, so I could look as, crazy, and I'm talking the good kind of crazy. Then the next thing that happened. Okay, so that was making me laugh. I said, God, you're so funny. I guess you're right. I guess you really can be Marty. I guess you really can take his place. So that was really funny. And then on the hike down, so I got to the top and God showed me a bunch of beautiful things. And it was amazing. And that's a whole nother testimony, but that's not what this testimony is. And then on the way down this long hike, I went deep into the mountains. And on the way down, I looked down because I felt Marty again. And I looked down, and what I saw in the spirit was Marty's body with Jesus's head. I was rolling. I was like, God, you're really doing this, aren't you, Jesus? And he was smiling and he had his eyes. in Marty's body, but Jesus' head. And he was like, I told you I can be everything you need me to be. I can be a dog. So that was hysterical. And it just made me laugh. And God is so fun. And please, listen, God's the one who invented humor and comedy. So why wouldn't he be the best? Why wouldn't he be the most random and crazy and insane and fun? Okay. So I'm very excited. And I do not have a hole in my heart anymore. I don't have a void. I have reminders, but it's like God is my dog. I don't know what to tell you. He's my dog. He's my dog. And he's funny, and Jesus is wonderful, and God will be everything you need him to be, anyone who's listening. Now, second part of this is because I told you guys earlier this year that the Lord told me, he said, Judy, stay in my spirit, do everything I say. This is going to be quite a year. It's going to be quite a year. And it has been quite a year. Like, our travel has been off the hook crazy. And when I got back from overseas, I said it on a couple videos, but I had it in my spirit that we'd be going overseas one more time. And he sat here and showed me today, November 28th to December 5th. I'm not saying where we're going, but it's going to be where the mark of the beast. There's going to be, anyway, I can't say specifically until we get back, but we need to go Enoch walk. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that might be. Because I quit giving my cat fish, and I've been giving my cat ground up meat. So yeah, maybe it was an allergy to the fish. Good idea there. Thank you. Okay, so I want to give an opportunity to give to God. When you give here, you're giving to God, and I'm supposed to ask because I was just in the shower and he told me, give an opportunity, Judy, for people not to rob me, but to actually joyfully give to what I need you to do. So he leads me to believe that we won't be here, but I have to plan it like I do everything else. And there's a time constraint on this. So he told me to make this video today because the ability to get the tickets are insanely cheap, like right now for that time frame for the 7 nights and 8 days. And we would just do a red-eye flight. And so anyway, I did all the math and it's amazing. So and the opportunity for the place, everything that he wants me to do. So anyway, if you want to contribute to that Enoch walk to plant more seeds for the tribulation, I had a feeling there was going to be one more trip. I did say it a couple times that God was putting that in me, but he didn't want to tell me too much because he knows it was going to overwhelm me. And he knows I don't really want to hear it because I don't really want to be doing any more out of the country traveling. It's just, I'm over it, but we do what God says. So one more opportunity to give to this trip. I want to start getting everything lined up now. He already gave me the dates. And so if you would like to, do that, you would email me and I'd have to ask the Lord if I can receive and all that. There's a whole process. I will never put a link. We're not beggars. But if you want to email me in the description box and just say, I'm interested in the opportunity to give to God to this last mission of Enoch walking, and planting tribulation seeds for the trib saints and all that, Enoch walking the globe. And that will be wonderful. So God said to give that opportunity, and he had me do the whole itinerary today. I have it all done and figured out, like in literally less than 10 minutes. It was crazy. It just so happens that there is a timeshare, so it's going to be so much cheaper than what it normally is. There's actually a timeshare that we can use in the area that we're going to. So that was crazy. And then the flights are just insane right now, and I don't know if they're going to go up soon. But anyway, maybe it's because of the bad weather and that time of year. But so we'll be going, Tana, Nate, and myself. This will be a 3 in the tribe Enoch walking, declaring, proclaiming all of the stuff that we do. You can look at the videos. But if you ask the Lord, if you have the great honor and pleasure and opportunity to do that, and we also take gifts like if you want to pay for something with a credit card, there's a way to do that. Like, and if you have frequent flyer miles and you want to help us in that way, you can do that. If you would say, I want to purchase one round of tickets, you can do that with your card. Like, you can do that. That's a resource that we can accept. So I want to give that opportunity. I was sitting here. He told me all about it. I had a feeling we had to go overseas one more time. If we're here, of course. Jesus is coming this year. I believe he's coming this month. I'm very excited about what's going on with the moon because he always told me to keep my eye on the moon. But I believe it's today. And if you don't see a service tonight at Tana's channel, we've been removed. And the worldwide rapture is days away, no more than a week. So get excited. Oh, thank you. In the chat room, God bless you. We love you. That's really cool about the allergy to fish. So yeah, we'll find out. I'm trying a few different things. So anyway, God bless everyone. We love you and we'll see you in the air. Bye-bye.